Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day before starting the video. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. But Kelsea's performance was said to be a moment that transcended the awards ceremony itself. It wasn't just a celebration of the year, it was an exploration of the deeply personal and universal themes that had shaped her latest music. And with Two Things, Kelsea had crafted a song that was both intimate and expansive, rooted in her own experience but resonant with everyone who had ever felt pulled in two directions by life. The stage was minimalist yet elegant, with a few large vintage lamps scattered across it, casting a warm glow over a backdrop that evoked a sense of nostalgia, almost as if Kelsea were inviting the audience into her own living room. A single microphone stood center stage, surrounded by an acoustic guitar, a grand piano, and a small string section. There was a sense of quiet before the storm, the promise of something raw and real. Before the first note was even played, Kelsea stepped onto the stage, greeted by a thunderous round of applause. She wore a simple yet stunning black dress that shimmered subtly under the lights, a reflection of her ability to balance glamour with authenticity. As the applause settled, she smiled clearly, moved by the support from the audience. Kelsea took a moment to speak before launching into the performance, her voice gentle but firm. "I've been through a lot over the past couple of years," she began, her eyes scanning the room, making sure to connect with the fans who had been there for her through thick and thin. "And sometimes it's hard to reconcile all the different parts of who you are. There's the part of me that wants to be strong, independent, and take on the world. And then there's the part that just wants to be vulnerable, to be loved, and to take a step back. Two Things is about that balance, and I hope it speaks to you the way it spoke to me when I wrote it." Her words hung in the air, the sincerity in her voice touching a chord with the audience. There was something different about this performance. It wasn't just a showcase of talent, but a reflection of the personal growth Kelsea had undergone, both as an artist and as a woman. The soft strum of the guitar began, and Kelsea's voice floated gently above it, clear and full of emotion. The opening lines of Two Things were confessional, almost like she was writing in a diary or speaking to a close friend. Her voice was rich and warm, capturing the essence of the Psalms message that we don't have to fit into one box, that we can hold contradictions within us and still be whole. The audience was mesmerized by the intimacy of the moment. It was as if Kelsea had invited them into her inner world, a place of vulnerability and strength, of light and shadow. The acoustic guitar and the piano played in perfect harmony, a simple but powerful arrangement that allowed her voice to shine. The backdrop subtly shifted to match the mood of the song, soft purples, pinks, creating a dreamlike atmosphere, as though the stage itself were reflecting Kelsea's emotional landscape. As the first verse gave way to the chorus, the energy in the room shifted, the strings swelled, adding depth to the arrangement, and Kelsea's voice soared with newfound power. The crowd erupted in cheers as Kelsea sang with an intensity that was both cathartic and celebratory. Her voice filled every corner of the room, the lyrics carrying a message that was empowering, not just for women but for anyone who had ever felt divided within themselves. The audience was on their feet, clapping along to the beat, fully immersed in the moment. As the second verse began, Kel's voice softened again, pulling the audience back into the introspective mood of the song. The lyrics here were more reflective, looking back on the journey that had brought her to this point. The vulnerability in her voice was palpable, and the room quieted once more, hanging on her every word. Kelsea was known for her upbeat hits and catchy choruses, but with Two Things, she was showing a different side of herself, one that wasn't afraid to embrace the complexities of life. Her performance felt like a conversation, a moment of shared humanity between artist and audience. There was something deeply relatable about the way she expressed the tension between strength and vulnerability, independence and connection. It was clear that Two Things wasn't just a poem for Kelsea, it was a person anthem, a declaration of self-acceptance. The bridge of the song offered a brief, poignant moment of reflection where the music slowed and the spotlight focused solely on Kelsea. She closed her eyes as she sang, as if she were drawing the words from deep within her soul. The simplicity of the lyrics contrasted with the complexity of the emotions they evoked. Kelsea's voice was tender, almost fragile, but there was a quiet strength in the way she delivered the lines. It was a moment of pure honesty, where the audience could feel the weight of the journey she had been on, not just as a musician, but as a person. As the final note of the bridge lingered in the air, there was a collective breath in the room. The audience was completely captivated, fully immersed in the world Kelsea had created on stage. When the final chorus hit, the energy in the room surged once more. The strings swelled, the drums kicked in, and Kelsea's voice rose to a triumphant crescendo. She sang with a conviction that left no doubt. She had embraced every part of herself, and she was encouraging her fans to do the same. The audience erupted into applause, many of them singing along with the chorus, their voices blending with Kelsea in a powerful show of unity. It was a moment of catharsis, of release, as if the song had given everyone in the room permission to embrace their own contradictions, their own complexities. Kelsea finished the song with a final powerful note, her voice ringing out clear and strong. As the music faded, she stood in the center of the stage, breathing heavily, clearly moved by the emotional intensity of the performance. The crowd was on their feet, giving her a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. Kelsea smiled, tears welling in her eyes as she took it all in. As the lights slowly came back up and the applause eventually quieted, it was clear that Kelsea Ballerini had delivered more than just a performance. She had shared a piece of her soul with the audience too. Things was more than just a song, it was a declaration of self-acceptance, a reminder that we don't have to be defined by one thing or another. We can be strong and vulnerable, independent and connected, light and dark, all at the same time. Kelsea waved to the audience as she left the stage, her smile radiant and full of gratitude. It was a performance that would be remembered not just for its musical brilliance, but for its emotional depth and honesty. The People's Choice Country Awards had seen many great performances over the years, but Kelsea Ballerini's rendition of Two Things had set a new standard, one that celebrated the power of embracing all the different parts of who we are. As the night continued and other stars took the stage, the memory of Kelsea's performance lingered in the air, a reminder of the beauty that comes from embracing licks, contradictions, and for the fans who had witnessed it, the message was clear: you don't have to be just one thing, you can be everything.